Hey Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for July 5th through the 11th. We do have a new moon coming up on the 9th. We're going to see what's coming up in the energies in the week ahead for you guys, as well as what's coming up with the new moon energy, okay? This is a new moon in Cancer. It's going to bring a lot of attention to our dealings with other people. So even though in the weekly forecast I want to focus on you guys and not so much on other people, because of the nature of the energy, we may have messages coming in about other people as well. So we're just going to be open to it. We're going to be open to whatever messages are coming in here for the Aries collective, Aries sun, moon, and rising, for this time period that we're entering, the planetary energies that we're going to be experiencing. So the first card coming up here for Aries is the Ace of Swords. Okay, this is really cool, okay, because we are coming into a new moon, and so a lot of people like to do manifesting around the new moon. Some of you might be making a conscious effort to manifest something. Ace of Swords are gonna be energy around like ideas, thought process. It's the realm of thought, element of air. And so there's ideas, sometimes communication, agreements or contracts. Now, the Ace of Swords is a special card for me because for me in my readings, Ace of Swords, I've noticed over the years reading for people, tends to come up to tell me that the person I'm reading for is going through an unblocking in the crown chakra. And so you're receiving a lot more information, a lot more messages from higher self, from universe, from your angels, from your guides. But also Ace of Swords for me is that you're coming into a time that you're breaking out of limited thinking. You're breaking out of limited thinking, just very like self-defeating thoughts, or negative self-talk even is something that you may be breaking out of at this time. And when you're breaking out of limited thinking or limited beliefs, false beliefs, you're going to find that you're thinking of solutions. Where once you would look around and all you would see is problems, when Ace of Swords comes up, you're looking around and you're seeing solutions. You're finding ways to do things more efficiently, to simplify things, to make them easier. You're getting a lot more done in this energy. The one thing that kind of happens when we have this unblocking, sometimes negative ego gets triggered a little bit and we're tempted to beat ourselves up. Like, oh my gosh, you wasted so much time. Why didn't you think of this earlier? Why didn't you think of this sooner? Oh, how stupid, right? And so the negative ego sometimes will creep in and start like raining on our parade when we should be happy and celebrating this change. Remind yourself that everything is happening in divine timing. You had these realizations, these solutions, these ideas when you were ready for them. Maybe you weren't ready for them before, but you're ready for them now. Okay? So try to resist the urge to turn it into a negative thing. Like, oh, you should have done this before, right? Remind yourself, everything is happening in divine timing. You're exactly where you're meant to be in this moment, and just kind of try to remind yourself of this. I also feel here with Ace of Swords, Aries, because we are coming into the new moon and Cancer energy, and a lot of us are looking at our relationships and our connections with other people. Let me just tell you real quick, when I sat down to start doing the readings for this week and for the new moon, I had a giant flying ant with a massive stinger come and land next to me. I don't know where it came from. It came out of nowhere. Absolutely out of nowhere. I didn't even know ants had stingers or that ants could sting. But I averted the crisis. I avoided getting stung. I went over into another part of the house to get water before I sat down and started recording. And then I smelled the smell of fire coming in from outside. I don't know if kids were playing with fireworks. I didn't hear any fireworks. I am in a wildfire area. I don't know if something was going on, but it ended up being like nothing. Nothing came of it. So from these two things, the kind of like the message that I got coming into the new moon energy coming into the weekly forecasts, is that there's going to be some kind of, I'm going to use the word confrontation, but I don't mean confrontation in terms of fighting or arguing, but more so like confronting somebody. And one thing I've been telling the other signs is that a lot of us are going to experience somebody coming to us with certain resentments, or we didn't realize they were harboring some kind of animosity towards us, and we're going to be able to, if we stay on the right path, diffuse it and avoid the burning of a bridge. For you guys, Aries, I feel you guys are the ones that you're feeling really moved to confront somebody. Like there's just something that you've been swallowing for a long time and you're tired of doing it. And now that you're coming into this mental clarity and you're seeing things more clearly, a lot of you are feeling very moved to express and communicate what the situation has been putting you through, or how much this person has been causing difficulties in your life or hindering you in some kind of way. I feel like a lot of the Aries, you guys are the ones who somebody else is looking at you like, Aries, this is coming out of nowhere. Where is this coming from? Like, I didn't see this coming. I didn't know you felt this way. The fact that I'm getting the vibe from the Ace of Swords, though, makes me feel like the Aries that are watching this, you guys are pretty high vibrational. You've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of healing. So you're coming into it in a very, very logical, very mature way, right? And just kind of like very matter of fact, this is how you made me feel, and like this is unacceptable. Not like in an overly emotional, like accusing, pointing the finger, like losing your cool kind of way. Not like that. But I feel you guys are gonna feel very moved to be vocal, to express how you feel. I'm hearing nip it in the bud. Some of you are even coming into a time period where you're just like, you know what, from now on, I'm not gonna, swallow stuff as it's coming up. I'm gonna speak in that moment. I'm not gonna wait till I get angry. I'm not gonna wait until I get frustrated and then go off. And then people go, oh, Aries has a temper, Meanwhile, I've been, patient the 50 times it's been happening, and time number 51, I lose my cool, and they're like, oh, you have a temper. They have no idea how long I've been dealing with this or putting up with it. So from now on, I'm going to speak up from time number 1, so that I don't have to keep pushing it down until I get tired of pushing it down. So I feel like your communication is changing. Not just in the coming week, but how you're doing things moving forward. I also feel like some of you are coming into some area of business management, business communication, that's going to really excel your progress in your career or in your business, and increase your earning as you're working on and strengthening your communication or business communication style. The next card coming up here for you guys is the Eight of Swords. Okay, so Eight of Swords doesn't surprise me. That's the negative ego, right? So you guys who watch my readings, my weekly forecasts, or those of you that you've gotten a private reading from me in the past, sometimes, because I read with my intuition and I also tell you what I'm hearing from spirit as I'm reading, sometimes I get ahead of the cards. Sometimes I give you a message and then I'll pull the cards, and it's like, oh, well, okay, we just kind of talked about this. And that's what the Eight of Swords is here. Eight of Swords is that feeling of being stuck or being trapped. I waited too long. Now it's too late. Now I ruined everything. Now I wasted time. Now it's not going to be as good. And then we start feeling like, what's the use? What's the point? Right? Like it's ruined before it even began. That's the kind of vibe here, like being stuck or being trapped. Pisces had this card come up with a similar kind of vibe or feeling. Those of you that watch my readings, you might have heard me talk in the past about how Eight of Swords is like we're waiting to be rescued. But I don't get that vibe in this instance, Aries. And I didn't get that vibe for Pisces either. In this instance, as it's coming up this week, I feel more of the vibe of like, it's too late. I know what I should do, but it's too late, or I can't, or I messed it up, or it's going to be too hard. Not that you're waiting to be rescued, but like you're telling yourself, forget it. Forget it. It's like it's too late, or it can't be done right now. This is the negative ego. Plain and simple, this is the negative ego. And so remind yourself of this. I already talked about this. This came in when I was ready for it to come in. This is happening now because this is the timing for it to happen now. Everything is happening in divine timing. It's not too late. I didn't wait too long. I didn't mess it up, right? This is when it's supposed to happen. And then by this way, hopefully you can start to feel less stuck or discouraged about the situation. The next card coming up for you guys, Aries, is the Emperor. Ooh, I just got chills. I love it. Okay. First and foremost, excuse me, this is a major arcana card. When the major arcana cards come up, we're coming into a new chapter in our life. We're coming into a new phase, a new cycle, a new period. Okay? And so this is going to be a time of transition, a crossroads. Our angels and guides are always going to help us through these kinds of transitions. The Emperor is about power, structure, order, having a solid foundation, that's self-discipline, learning from our mistakes, or learning from the things we did in the past that weren't successful, reworking them, coming around and using them, like, implementing changes that are going to help us get ahead. And something about this makes me feel like a lot of you Aries took the Mercury retrograde we just had not too long ago very seriously, and you used this time as a time to rework your plans. I'm hearing doodles. Redo your doodles, redo your sketches, redo your drafts, redo your schedules, your planning. You went back and you revised and you reworked things. And that's one of the things that a lot of people forget about the Emperor. The Emperor is really successful, not because he never made mistakes, but because he took what he learned from the mistakes and used it to come back better, to come back stronger, and this made him more successful. But the reason why I got super excited when I saw the Emperor card coming up for you guys, for me in my readings, I can't speak for other readers, but for me in my readings, when I'm reading for someone and their major arcana card comes up in the reading, this is you guys, this is Aries, right? This card is associated with masculine Aries energy. So when your major arcana comes up for me in my readings, it's telling me that this situation, the things that you're working on, the things that you're dealing with, the things that you're asking about are directly connected to what you came here to master, what you came here to conquer. And this is the situation, this is the scenario that's leading you into the time of coming into your full authenticity, coming into your full potential, reaching your full potential, reaching your full power, and really coming into a time of being very confident, falling in love with yourself in a non-narcissistic kind of way, being very unapologetic about who you are and what you want and how you live your life, just being in this sense of liberation and freedom. So I'm always really excited when I'm reading for somebody and the major arcana card for their zodiac sign comes up. Now I do feel, Aries, many of you are calling upon that masculine energy, okay? Really, 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 really conquering that energy of action, planning, strategy, taking steps, taking action, making things happen. Let's not forget here that the Emperor card is also associated with paternal energy, okay? Paternal energy, father figure, father kind of energy. It's also sometimes associated with divine masculine, We are in the new moon. Maybe some of you are manifesting, stepping into divine masculine energy, or attracting or calling in a divine masculine person. And other ones of you, because we're in this Cancer new moon energy, where we're having our feelings, our emotions come to the surface, we're examining our relationships with other people. Some of you might really be thinking about your father, and some of you might be beginning to heal issues that you may have had with your father, or you feel you may have inherited from your father. And I'm hearing he won't listen, or he can't hear me. So but I'm gonna do this on my end. So maybe for some of you, it's maybe you didn't know your father, or maybe he's no longer in the earth realm. Maybe he's passed over into the spiritual realm. Or maybe your father is just someone who's just, they're not going to listen, they're not going to hear you, they're just very stubborn, and they're not going to change. But you are doing on your end the clearing, the releasing, the untangling. Aries, some of you have a very, very, very tangled entanglement with masculine energy, with father, with patriarchy, with just like masculine energy in general, or men in general. And this could apply even if you are a hetero male. You may still have issues here with like what it is to be a man, or the example that the men set for you growing up. There may be issues here, and you guys are untangling this. You're freeing yourself from it, and you're coming into your power. And you're like, okay, well, I'm still gonna have foundation, I'm gonna have authority, I'm gonna have success, I'm gonna have structure, right? And I'm gonna do it in my way, and I'm gonna trust in myself. We hear a lot about like mothering the inner child. Some of you may be fathering the inner child. We need that too, right? Inner children, or children, they don't just need mother energy, they need father energy too. And so sometimes we talk about mothering or nurturing our inner child. And so some of you might be teaching, encouraging, facilitating for your inner child. Okay? Now, let's see, we've got one more card here. Next is the Page of Wands. Okay, now Libra also had this come up, and if I'm not mistaken, it was their last card. Maybe some of you are dealing with a Libra or have a Libra placement. Not necessarily, but they also had the same card come up in the same spot. This, typically in terms of astrology, is going to be representative of a fire sign person. Not a Libra, but a fire sign person. And that can be you. This could be you in your energy, Aries. And you stepping into your feistiness. You stepping into your confidence. Some of you have heard me talk about Page of Wands as like the second adolescence. Not the emo teenager, right? Because let's face it, teenagers can be very roller coastery. And there's the aspect of hating yourself and hating the world and locking yourself up in the room and listening to the sad music. But then there's the aspect of the teenager, right, which I think of when I think of Page of Wands, where, we start to feel confident. We start to feel kind of cute. We start to notice, attraction and crushes, and, that little fire and the butterflies in the tummy, and just feeling like we're going to go out there and conquer the world, and put it in our pocket and conquer our dreams and who we are, our style, how we express ourselves, finding our clique, finding our group, finding where we fit in. And so a lot of you might be coming into this kind of fiery, feisty, ambitious energy. You might be getting your fire back. You might be deciding to really start going after certain goals, ambitions, dreams, as some of you are healing anything within the family dynamic, or anything in terms of people not being there for you or not being supportive of you. Some of you are going through inner teenager work. We talk about the inner child, but some of you are going into that inner teenager, letting your inner teenager come out. letting your little inner teenager be at the wheel for a little bit. So adventure, freedom, autonomy, finding yourself, finding your voice, finding your style. A lot of you are coming, for you guys specifically, Aries, even though this also came up for Libra, I'm feeling a different vibe here. For Libra, I felt like this is somebody that they were going to have like a relationship with. I don't necessarily feel a relationship thing here with the Page of Wands coming up for you guys. With you guys, the energy that I'm feeling is you're stepping into this ambition and you're figuring out who you are. You're reinventing yourself. I'm getting a sense or a feeling here that as you're manifesting new energy, you're reinventing yourself. And you're reinventing yourself without the editing, without the limitations that were put on you when you were developing into your adulthood, right? When people saw traits about you and they're like, nope, Aries, you can't do that. You can't dress that way. You can't talk that way. Not under my roof, right? That doesn't apply to you now because you're an adult. And so a lot of you are that inner teenagers coming to the surface, but this time it's being allowed to find itself and to reinvent itself. So I do feel like you're giving yourself a makeover on every level, inside and outside, like inwardly and outwardly. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those might resonate for you more than your sun sign, or it might add a little extra information. If you want more of love and romance readings, I will have those linked in the description, so you can check out the love readings I did as well, the general love readings. If you would like a private reading with me, guys, please be super careful. Okay, unfortunately, it's been brought to my attention someone is going around pretending to be me and emailing people or commenting and saying, oh, book a reading with me right now, and I'm gonna get you in quickly, just send me the money kind of thing. I don't do that. I don't reach out to people telling them to book a reading. I would never do that, ever, because my whole thing is that if you want a reading, you're going to let me know you want a reading. You're going to schedule a reading. I'm not going to try to coerce people into scheduling a reading with me. I also don't have any kind of like mass client emailing list. I don't send out email announcements or anything like that. I'm not set up to do that. So if you get any communication like that, it's not me. The only way to schedule a private reading with me is by going to calendly.com/amethystangelite and scheduling a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Bye, my dears. Be well.